Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Greetings,
Everyone,
programs.
welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Joe's trying to mess with everybody again, and I hope he finds the sardines I left in his moving van.
Did you leave them under the hood?
No, heater vent.
Oh,
right up where the defroster is. Just they fit there perfectly.
Just put right in those little slots.
And I got the sardines with hot sauce.
That ought to work.
It's like fishy tear gas.
Oh.
It's always time for chaos.
Alright. Maybe I'm back.
You know that stuff's too thick to drink, to breathe. It's not too thick to drink. It's too thick to breathe.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Did Rich get OBS? Carl Whitzman asks.
I've had OBS. I've just started messing with it more since I'm gearing up to start life lessons with Crazy Uncle Dick.
Excellent
nice.
choice.
I've got OBS on this machine. I've got no freaking clue how to use it.
Welcome to the club.
I learned it the old-fashioned way. What's this do? Oh, okay. Format, reinstall. What's this do? Okay, that one works.
Pretty much how all of us learn how to use OBS.
It's pretty much the way I learn how to use any program. Test to destruction.
So I learned
Oh, the
most
way we did
technology.
StreamYard?
Yeah, really.
You know, no offense, we still haven't broke StreamYard.
We bent it severely. It had to go to the body shop a couple of times.
It'll buff out.
Yeah. I'm getting tired of paying for the paint job over and over. It's shiny.
It's one of the advantages of owning a stainless steel car.
Yeah. There we go. Let's put things in their proper perspective.
Stop doing that.
That's,
Hey, gotta put Joe Dog in the driver's seat, even if they don't want to be there.
You stop doing that too.
Yeah, maybe it's time for Uncle Carl's guide to OBS.
Mm-hmm.
you know, somewhere
Rich, I'm
Heather
not
is
sure.
going, why are they dealing with obstetricians?
Hello, nurse. You'll have to put it on screen again for us to check, Rich.
Because sometimes practice runs end up being the real thing.
Yep. I've actually got my background image reversed, so no, that's perfectly legible, even to me.
Yeah, well, it was the last time too.
Right.
Except that it's too small. But not your fault. That's StreamYard. Deleted.
That's StreamYard trying to put it in the little bitty window they allow you. So
Actually. There. See, now it works.
Yeah.
but you can't read it because it's too small. And I've got Frank's
That's what that
2000 inch
button in the
TV.
corner is.
Okay, that's legible. Oh,
So, in case y'all haven't noticed, I went and got a haircut.
Very
And,
nice.
heaven.
I finally broke down and actually went to a barber shop. I hadn't been to a barber shop in like 4 years.
I haven't been to a barber shop since I was
Did they not have a razor?
12.
No, they're not allowed to use razors there. It was a sports clips.
Oh,
And she did trim my beard and did a very nice job, I think. The only problem was after she trimmed it, she trimmed back here. This side looks fine. Okay, it's nice
Yeah.
form. This side curled up. It's not her fault. It's just
I've got this side is all puffy and everything, and this side is flat.
it's exactly
It's because I sleep on this side, I do believe.
I've got an issue with my mustache right here acting all funky, but I have CPAP so I can continue breathing while I sleep. And of course, the mask is just a nose mask that goes right there. So
that wasn't me. That was the headphones.
that'd be Misty leaving work.
Ah.
So in about half an hour, it'll go off again as she gets home. If Life 360 actually detects her getting home when she gets home. Because apparently about 6:30 I got home and I haven't left the house all freaking day.
Did you happen to notice what day and what year that notice was from?
I don't know.
Well,
You know, I didn't trim my beard. Carl was just, making a thing. I didn't trim my beard before I went and got my hair cut because I wanted to trim it to match the haircut.
Ah.
And she went ahead and trimmed some of it. Actually, I just, she did about what I would have done too. It's nice to have somebody else look at it and give you an objective opinion and not you.
Yeah, last time I was in a place to get a haircut, my eyebrows were bothering the stylist so bad that she's like, "Are you sure you don't want me to touch up your eyebrows?" All right, I guess.
First time I went to Iraq, we were down in Kuwait. We were prepping to go north of the border. And then we're doing some last minute training while we're down. I went down to this big PX area they got for all the soldiers. Went to get a haircut, and the contract barbers there were Turkish barbers. So I went in there. He gives me my haircut and everything, and didn't say a word about it. Just started trimming my eyebrows. Of course, I've always had big bushy eyebrows. Like, what? He actually did. I was impressed. He did a very nice job with that.
Well, get worried when they pull out the hot wax and the paper.
I don't think they do that. There are some of those barbers that use an alcohol-soaked cotton ball on wet hair. They will light the cotton ball on fire, comb up some of your hair, and then burn it off. And apparently, this is how they got your hair shorter before they invented scissors.
That makes sense.
Well, Dan, I do not recommend you or John doing that, or Rich, because there's enough alcohol stored in your hair.
Are you kidding? Somebody waves a lit match around me, I instantly do my best Godzilla imitation, and Tokyo files a cease and desist.
No, you can find there's still barbers that do it that way, but it's I said that use a comb. They don't actually use a comb. They use their fingers, and they get the hair where they want it, and then burn it right along with the edge of their finger. And that way, they get the fire, and you don't. So,
Yeah.
I think that's why they have red on the barber pole.
No. The original reason, because it was barber surgeon, and that was where you went to see a doctor that wouldn't prescribe leeches. One that didn't want to kill you, basically.
Just amputate a limb.
Yeah, well, the barber would do that. Probably much neater and with a better chance of your survival.
Pull
That's what I'm saying.
They pull a tooth.
If they've got a flat shovel in the fireplace heating up, I would go someplace else for my amputation, because it's going to be cauterized whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I actually learned how to say hello and good day in Turkish today.
I just saw something today that Turkey has sent several months back. They sent a request to NATO to quit spelling their name Turkey. They wanted them to spell it the old Cyrillic method of Turkie.
Space Invader.
Yeah, something I can't read. So today NATO actually changed their policy and is going to start changing all their letterheads and everything when it goes to Turkey about this, that, and the other. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Spain that lodged a complaint a few years back about the NATO abbreviation, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way they say it in Spain. In Spain, they say the organization Treaty of Atlantic North or something like that. It's literally backwards. That's why you'll see all the NATO planes that are actually NATO planes will say NATO, and behind it says OTAN, which is NATO backwards.
Ooh, okay.
We
Now
don't
you know
care
why-
about your grammar. We want it pronounced the way we pronounce it.
And now you know why the international pilot language is English, because everybody else was too busy arguing about what it should be.
Excuse me, I got to get this plane over here. Y'all let me know
And
what
to
your
quote one of my favorites, do you have a flag? This is our country. You can't claim our country. Do you have a flag? No. Then it's
No
ours.
flag, no country. We'll gladly put one of ours here until you develop one. British Empire, the only invasions that ever stopped for tea in the afternoon.
Dan, do you know why the sun never sets on the British Empire?
Doesn't frickin' dare. Ain't gonna turn his back on
Because even God wouldn't trust an Englishman in the dark.
him. And the Englishmen do not trust the French. So
The Englishmen don't trust an Englishman. That's why they can't carry knives in public.
you'd
I
be
won't
surprised.
carry a knife. I'll carry an axe.
Get my broadsword. No.
Actually, they started cracking down on any edged weapon, which is why you carry a sledgehammer.
Or a yo-yo.
Yep. The Tactical Assault Yo-Yo by Yo-Yo-Dine Incorporated.
Hey, if you've ever seen the movie Pulp Fiction, or no, I'm sorry, not Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill,
Mm-hmm.
Go-Go Yubari, and her killer yo-yo.
I've broken a nose with this. I've actually had to defend myself with this.
Hey, Rich, go get you one of those survival wire saw blades and use that as the string for your nice little metal yo-yo.
Ooh,
Is this your nose?
Was that your neck? Stump?
Have you ever seen a
That
barber?
made a mess.
Have you ever seen a barber take an ear off before?
I may or may not have one of those in one of my paracord survival bracelets.
Yes.
Oh, I had Tom Darby carrying a sculptor's wire, the two-handled with a thin wire that they use to separate the clay from what you call the thing they spin it on. The turntable, the wheel. I think they call it the wheel.
Potter's wheel.
Potter's wheel. Yeah. And it just turns out that I had seen those in art school back in college, and I go, "Ooh, imagine the mayhem that somebody with bad intent could commit with one." I mean, it comes with built-in handles.
You can't carry a sword, but you can carry a stainless steel yardstick.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't carry a tune either, and people would thank me for not trying to.
Come here. I want to measure you a little bit.
Oh, Lord.
Why did her mind go to Odd Jobs hat? It's another.
Yeah.
You know, actually, there's a TV series out called Pinky Blinders.
Yes.
For those of you who do not know where the term came from, it was a English street gang. They were very tough and rough. And Peaky were this style that they were. They wore this neat little worker's cap called Peaky cap. Yes, like that. But they would sew razor blades, pieces of razor blade along the bill of the cap, and would take it off and slash it across your eyes as a weapon.
And it has this neat little loop in the back with a thumb hole. You get some speed up
Which is
with
where
that.
the term blinders came from, is they would smack you across the top of your eyes, or in your eyes, with that cap and blind you, either with blood or with a slit eyeball.
And Rich, you will run into a mention of the sculptor's tool garrote in the Tom Darby book that you've got, the Disposable Man. So it's in his emergency kit. Most people would call it a bug out bag, but for him, it's backup weapons.
Did you have you ever seen the movie Red with Bruce Willis? And
Yes.
Another one of my favorite Christmas movies.
it is, and one of my favorite scenes, just because I she's just so awesome. Helen Mirren. She goes to the vice president's fundraising gala, so she's all dressed up, and she's wearing this neat little necklace. Okay, goes in, goes through security, gets the metal detector and everything, goes in, and she has to lock one of the doors so they can't use the door. She pulls it, and it turns out this necklace is actually a chain, a steel cabled chain that she wraps around the door handles and locks in place. And I was like, it's fashionable, functional, and it would make a nasty weapon if you had to pop somebody in the face with that thing.
Yes.
Because it looked like it was built like a chainsaw chain.
Basically, it can be. I used to carry a huge bunch of keys attached to what was essentially a steel choker chain collar for a very large dog. And because I had such a huge bunch of keys, you could detach the one loop of the chain and twirl the rest of the keys at the end of the chain, pretty much with the same effect as Bruce Lee would get out of a set of nunchucks.
I have a very nasty weapon I keep in my truck. It's an 18-inch breaker bar.
Blunt trauma.
Oh yeah. You know the thing the police used to carry, the ASP, the pop out baton.
I've got one.
It's about like that, only solid.
Yeah. Those things are really impressive to snap open, but they're hard to recompress. Not because they have springs in them or anything, but because when you snap them out and you actually mean it, the different segments lodge into each other very firmly. And it's pretty much the same as a 2-foot length of steel pipe with a knob on the end. No jokes about a wizard staff has a knob on its end, please. I have seen some people that do weapons demonstrations do some magic with one of those.
Not touching that one. It's not the great.
Skirting the edges.
Yeah.
Get out of my head, Joe.
Hey,
Were you writing that at about the same time?
Yes, I was writing that exactly when you were saying that. I just got done with the little flourish at the bottom, and you said that, and I'm like, this is not the good time to be in tune.
well, when you see Hank Reinhardt wave one of those around at what you swore used to be a pumpkin, it's now good material to make into fertilizer because there ain't enough left of it to be a pie. Yes, Sarah, we are a font of.
We are an
Odd.
eclectic bunch.
That would be like getting home.
Yep,
Yep.
had 2 of those on the tractor. One of them was 1 inch drive, and the other one was 3/4 inch. And both of them came in useful to knock wet clay out from in between the blades of a disc harrow. Because sometimes you'd run into a wet patch and it would just pack up in there, and it'd be like a tire made out of wet clay, wet Georgia red clay.
The nice
Pretty
thing,
much.
the nice thing about a breaker bar, keep it in your truck as a weapon. I mean, perfectly legal. I mean, it's
I gotta change a tire sometimes.
yeah. Tire irons are pretty good too. Just they rust. So.
Yeah, those chrome-plated breaker bars don't.
Nope. And the ones from Craftsman, if you bend it,
Get a new one. And a lot of questions. How the hell did you bend a breaker bar for breaking
Hey.
other stuff?
Daddy had one of the 1 inch drive breaker bars, and he was trying to change one of the tires on a tractor. Had to get a cheater bar and put on it and jump up and down. Broke the damn. Took it to Sears, laid it on the desk, laid the extra pieces where it had broke. Said, "It's Craftsman. I need a new one." They looked at him, 6 foot tall, 150, 165 pounds, still looked like the college or the high school center football player that he used to be. Had the little spit curl coming down just like Superman. They go, "Yes, sir," and we got one. I mentioned there was a little bit of discussion in the break room after that, but how did he do that?
Well, I think Lowe's carries the Craftsman brand now. You
Yep.
got to go to Lowe's to get it.
Yeah.
Yep. This was back in the day when Sears still carried them. I have bought Craftsman stuff at Lowe's.
I don't think it still got that same lifetime guarantee.
Hang on a second.
You break one, I don't think they're going to argue with you. That's a reaction Dad got. Yes, sir. Right here in the box.
Now, I have seen the breaker bar. The guy put the cheater bar on the end of the breaker bar, not all the way on it, and bent the breaker bar.
Well, the lug nuts on the tractor tire that Dad was trying to take off were 2 1/4 inch. So you got to have some torque on them things.
Have y'all ever seen the little shorts on YouTube? Little Ricky and the Boss.
Haven't run into those.
Boss tells Ricky, "Go change something." Ricky, grabs a few tools out of the tool room. It flashes. Ricky comes back in, looks at the boss, goes and gets a longer, bigger wrench, heads out to it was a pipe wrench. It was taking a pipe out. Remember, it was a pipe wrench. He went and got, the big super long pipe wrench and went to flashed again. Ricky's headed back out to the thing, rolling the acetylene torch.
It's got to be loose if it's liquid.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I had a flat one time, and one of the lug nuts would not come off the damn tire, and that's when I decided to add a small cold chisel to my toolbox. If that ever happens again, I will just split the darn thing. I am not going to drive around until the rim is throwing sparks. Learned that lesson. That was an expensive repair job for a flat tire. But you go ahead and you cut that thing off and go buy another one because lug nuts are not that expensive compared to everything else that can overheat in such a situation. I was young and stupid for a long time. Some amazing lessons learned, embarrassing lessons learned. Now I don't care who knows. Well, that was a conversation stopper right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'm still seeing if I can't see if Craftsman still has lifetime warranty.
Good luck. I'm just glad to see him at Lowe's because I went in there and I needed specific sizes of stuff, and I needed a not a ratchet but a lug wrench because I had gone and got my tires replaced, and then I had a flat, and I could not pop the lug nuts loose for love nor money. I had that thing. I was jumping up and down on it. It wouldn't do nothing. So I went out and got myself a socket wrench, the thing you were talking about. Sorry, aphasia. Words are trying to hide from me. And that worked. I mean, if I'm not going to be able to change my own flat tires, why am I taking up room in the car with a spare? I'll just have to call a wrecker and have them come and tow me to a tire place. Evidently, they put them on with an air wrench, and they've got it like 120 pounds of torque or something.
No, they put a torque wrench on it and take it up to 120 pounds.
And it's more than I can manage to get off of there. So,
Well, I did that. I've actually got an inverter in my car and an electric impact drill. So they backed the car out. Of course, I don't have hubcaps on the car. I just pulled right up. I told them. They says, "Well, we can't let you leave unless it's torqued to 120." I said, "All right." So they backed it out and they, pulled it up in front of the door. I pulled over to a parking lot, pulled out the extension cord and the electric impact. I said, "Now come loosen these motherfuckers so I can get it off if I have a flat tire on the side of the road." I mean, they
that's
all
exactly
came.
it.
And,
That
Yeah.
is exactly the problem. I don't like having to call for roadside assistance for something that I learned how to do as a 10-year-old.
yeah.
Hello,
Hello,
Keisha.
beautiful people. That'd have to be Keisha.
Yep.
I have an 18-inch breaker bar. I have a 2-foot cheater bar, and I weigh about 200 pounds.
Not the green room.
Not the green room.
And he's very popular.
No, I have to. 18 inches. God damn, yeah, you will break her. Sorry about that. And that's before I started consuming before I start consuming alcohol. Maybe I should take a shot.
It really is punishment. Oh, last man standing is going to be wild tonight. If we can come up with anything to say.
Can't be too wild because I do have to get a blood test in the morning.
Yeah, I still got to go to work in the morning.
And yes, Craftsman tools still have a lifetime warranty.
All right.
But it's kind of complicated because they've got power tools now. And Air compressor.
Husky also, I think, still has their lifetime warranty.
I think
And
it's only on the hand tools.
yeah,
It's only on the hand tools.
Yeah, a lot of their other stuff has odd, like we'll repair it or replace it or a certain amount of time if the moon's in the right alignment.
and there's
If you
that.
invoke the correct demons. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Carl Rich didn't only go there, he went there, he bought the t-shirt, he brought some back to share.
That's our Richie.
Liked it so much, he bought the t-shirt shop and started handing out t-shirts to everybody he knows. Okay.
Hey, when the variant of your name is Dick, sometimes you gotta go there.
Hey, guys, I just got an alert. Stupid O'Clock is live on the Stupid O'Clock channel.
Oh, let's go tune in.
Really? Oh wait, we are.
We need to have a chat with Mr. Facebook one day.
No, that was YouTube.
That would be YouTube not sending out the notice for Facebook to pick up, because believe me, Facebook will do everything on time, especially if it includes an ad for something you don't need, don't want, and don't want to see.
I read something the other day, I think it was yesterday, that Meta got fined like, I want to say $400 million because apparently they were selling they were data mining with their ads.
Yeah,
And
well,
not supposed to. So apparently,
they've been doing it all along.
Apparently, if you type something in Facebook, it would start showing you ads for it. So there.
Supposed to and reality, two totally different animals. Fluffy bunny, rabbit badger.
If you type something on your phone, then go to your desktop computer,
I got thinking about this the other day. There's this movie
Facebook will
Tom
show
Cruise
you
in it,
ads.
called Minority Report.
Yeah.
And you would walk down the street past the stores, and they had these laser scanners that would scan your retina, ID who you were, and would tailor holographic advertising for you as you walk past the store. And he was walking through the shopping mall, and it was ridiculous how much advertising was jumping out and assaulting you while you were walking through the shopping mall.
Philip K. Dick was
Way ahead of his time.
scary accurate on some of the weird crap that he predicted.
And that was probably one of the reasons why he was so crazy. There's a storm down the street. Now, I do wish some of the ads that I see when I am online shopping for stuff would actually give you sizes of the physical dimensions of things, because I tried to get like a 1 gallon heated water bowl for the cats out on the front porch so that we could put that out there and not have to worry about the water freezing. We got one for the cats in the dog pen, and it's just fine. Turns out that the one that I bought was about half the size of the old one because there was no indication of how much water it would actually hold. So,
Well, I'll tell you what I hate is when you buy something on Amazon, they then hit you with multitudes of ads for it. Little late, bud. I've already bought it.
really, it's been shipped. I mean,
Apparently on Facebook, if it is telling you, hey, you might like this product and you've already purchased it, or if you don't want to see it again, you can click on the little button and choose I already own, and it'll stop showing you those ads on Facebook.
Rich, you might remember this one. they came up with that facial recognition software for identifying criminals a few years back. And the guy was testing it, was showing it off to Congress, and it identified half of Congress as criminals.
Still needs a little work. It needs to identify the other half too.
Something we don't know.
Sounds like a joke, but it actually, apparently, all these people that were.
Well, you have to think how many people on Congress flout the tiny little laws, the parking laws, stuff like that. So they end up racking up tickets, and then they end up using the political clout to go ahead and push things off. But those things are still in the system; they're not deleted from the system. So
you also get
true.
a lot of those when they weren't in Congress back before they went into Congress. They started doing things like protest rallies where they would get arrested for protesting, things of that nature.
So-and-so smoked pot once in 1963.
But he didn't inhale.
Like, Bill Clinton dodged the draft in 77, and just, whatever. But it's that I thought that was hilarious. That
Now, he gets it out on that. He did marry Hillary. I mean, seriously, he served his time.
he's going to heaven because he's already served his time now.
He's still serving his time.
Apparently,
I think I broke Richie.
that same software that identified the different congressmen as criminals, apparently 70% of the ones that it identified as criminals were people of color.
But the dance statement, I made the blue dress joke on Facebook about 2 weeks ago, so that's why I'm laughing because of the Bill Clinton.
What I want to know is what does Bill have on Hillary that he's still alive?
What makes you think he's still alive?
Because not
Hey,
even Disney has enough money for an automaton that size.
Hey, how hard would it be to find a drunken, debaucherous redneck in Arkansas? He's easily replaced.
If you throw a horseshoe, you're going to hit one. Hey, Joe.
$5 says his name's Boudreaux.
Hey, Joe.
Oh, you're talking about hitting rednecks. I've been watching Yellowstone, the Kevin Costner series.
Not the one with Yogi Bear?
No.
Hey, boo-boo. Let's go steal some bacon and biscuits.
Well, all I'm gonna say is within the first 30 seconds of the series, in the opening scene, he has to put down a horse in the trailer that flipped over.
Oh.
With his 357.
I think my favorite scene that I've seen, and you can find this on YouTube. He's driving down the road, and there's a busload of Japanese tourists.
Oh yeah, that's in there. Yeah.
That they've stopped the bus on the side of the road. They're all out, and they're all sitting here in front of this grizzly bear, like, oh yeah, this is an American grizzly bear, and he's like, what are you doing? And he runs over there with a big old rifle, lever action rifle. Like, what are you doing? Get out of here!
This is my property.
I think it was on YouTube the other day. It might have been Facebook short, or YouTube short, where the vegans are protesting, and he's like, these fields where they plant all of your veggies and stuff like that, they kill every bug, they kill every snake, every frog. How cute do animals have to be for their lives to matter?
Hadn't got to that one yet.
You remember that PETA billboard that it had like a horse, went all the way down through like a dog?
People eating tasty animals?
And it said, where do you
or the bad PETA?
Where do you draw the line on what's a pet and what's food? Somebody goes, right about here.
Well, here's the thing. I'm descended from Germans. And one of the fine delicacies over there is Hackfleisch. horse flesh.
Used to be in the
They've-
United States.
They've
Strangely
got no
enough,
problem eating horses.
you used to be able to go into a butcher shop in the United States and get horse meat. No big
Yeah.
deal. Of course,
Especially after a derby.
This was back when horse was, a car. Everybody had horses and wagons and stuff like that. And then the car came along, and strangely enough, back in the old days, rich people had cars and poor people had horses. Now it's reversed. Rich people have all the horses and the poor people have the cars. And
Well, it goes even further back than that, because way, way, way back in the day, the poor people had the whole wheat grain type foods and stuff like that. And the diet of the peasant back then is the diet of the rich man now, where it cost a lot of money to have the refined white bread and stuff like that back then. Things have just totally flipped as far as that goes.
Yeah, and
Joe's
all of
hearing static, so we're gonna start muting everybody. I'm gonna start with Kiri. Is it still there? There's
can you
Kiri.
hear me now?
All right.
I don't
Now
hear you.
Dan's muted. Now John's muted.
I'm still hearing that static.
Rich is muted.
Well, I'm sorry, we can't mute Joe Dog. Donna has been looking for a way to do that for 30 years or better.
Oh, hey, Joe says it's me, so all right.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I think that's one way for Donna to shut him up.
The other way involves a sword or a pickaxe.
It'll never happen.
No, you'll come back to haunt her just so you can get the last
Oh.
word.
Kiri, I'm going to tell you, me and Donna have been together 35 years, and every time I look at her, I get butterflies in my stomach. I get shaky and all that. No, it's not love, it's fear.
Yes, and if you'd committed a murder, you'd be out by now.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. No, it's probably just the jack that Joe Dog has his microphone plugged into. Has got a little bit of dust in there. So.
Or
and
it's
that's
not
very-
fully seated or something.
Yeah, then those things, they act up spontaneously no matter what. You can clean everything out. You can take it apart and you can even replace the socket that you plug the cable into. And sometimes it don't work. I've got a guitar and a bass guitar that I need to take to the shop and have them totally rewired because of that same reason. The wiring is just is so old. You plug a cord in and plug it into an amplifier, you can't hear the guitar. You just hear a steady roar of static from the output jack.
Oh, I want to throw a quick shout out. Hey, Rob Brown. Hope you get to feeling better. He's feeling a little under the weather. Oh,
Hoping he gets feeling better soon.
Really? Yeah. Bad time of year to be having any sort of health problem because
Normal
It could
time
be
of year
really
at the end of the
cold.
weather.
there were some people over in England who were reacting to a video of the really cold weather in Michigan over Christmas, and this was people right on Lake Michigan. So, I mean, there's ice everywhere and floodwaters frozen with cars looking about this tall because that's all you can see of the roof. And
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah.
going, "Oh, we didn't know it would get that cold in the United States." I go, "Dude, it's Michigan. Why do you think I would not go back at gunpoint? I escaped there at 3 years old because, thankfully, my father
At least it's
decided to
not
move back to Tennessee."
at least it's not North Dakota or Wyoming.
Yeah, well, you get some wind chill because there ain't nothing to block the wind for 1,000 miles.
Indiana gets some of that Michigan weather, especially I'm right over the border from Michigan, so
Uh huh.
Big in the news right now is they're talking about this huge series of storms that's pounding California as we speak. And they're saying it's 2 dead already, thousands out power, and parade of storms has just begun.
Well, maybe to get Lake Mead filled back up.
And lots of other places in California where they've been stealing water from other states.
No, I used to have a boss that lived in worked the oil field, North Dakota oil fields, and it's one of those that the Canadian border would sometimes slide down. So cold the Canadian border would slide down a few miles.
Uh-huh.
But it would get so cold, he said the air in the tires would freeze. And when you went to pull off, the tires would just fall flat.
As far as I know, over the Christmas weekend, the Canadian border went down to about Memphis or Macon because it was like minus 14 here.
America's hat slid down over its eyes.
Wait, what again?
America's hat slid down over its eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cold enough to where some of the people walking around downtown Athens actually pulled their pants up.
You got him again, Dan.
Wait till tomorrow night. I'm hot.
Well, no, I was just thinking, a couple weeks ago it was so cold I actually had to put on actual pants instead of just wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, when it was like 7 degrees outside, I went out to check the mail in my shorts and sandals. I decided I'm going to wear socks the next time.
Like right now, it's 31 where we're at. I went outside on the balcony to watch Misty as she gets some idiots from the next building over are parking in front of our building for some reason. So she's got to park in front of their building. So went out there to watch her walk up, just because she gets weird.
I think Rich's internet just froze up.
Uh-oh.
It's no good telling him. You won't know for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. That's the first time I've seen his internet do that.
Occasionally it
A couple
acts
weeks
up.
ago, he had an issue.
Now John's is acting up. Rich is
No.
back and John's is acting up.
Mine is not acting up.
You're
Yeah.
picket fencing like I used to on the main desktop.
I blame Joe.
Mine's probably because I'm running OBS at the same time. I'm trying to go through StreamYard, so it's probably itching a fit about the bandwidth.
That's probably it. Yeah.
More than my machine wants to do.
and the idea is gone.
Oh.
There was something I was trying to think of how to word without getting us banned from StreamYard, and it's gone now, so you can stop worrying.
Oh, where do we draw the line? Well, it depends on how hungry we are and what's going on at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go all the way down to the left side of the board.
Matter of fact, if that English bulldog down there on the end craps in my dining room one more time, it may wind up on the Traeger.
I would put dogs and cats way on the end where it would be not unless it's a life or death situation.
Yeah.
And
There's
everything else on the other side of that line, but there would be steps in there as to
Now,
how
Dan's
bad
gone.
the situation had to be.
How much? What is it? SHTF?
Yep, that's exactly right. And
they
quite
had a version
frankly,
of that showed everyday emergency situations and after the apocalypse. And it was like,
and actually, right there before I would get to the dogs and cats at the last ditch situation, probably be a picture of a congressman or somebody really rich.
Somebody really me? Oh, wait. Wrong type of rich. You meant affluent.
Yes, wealthy. Hey, it worked in France, and they've still not learned to listen. Oh no, someone else. Oh, it's Ryan Secret. Brian Permissive.
Yeah.
You thought I was
Ryan
Ryan
Seacrest.
Seacrest.
Oh, wrong Ryan. Okay.
Do I
Ryan's
look like I
hope.
got blonde hair, dude? I got brown hair. Get with the program here, Danny boy.
It's still that handsome face.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is what 3 weeks of not shaving my beard will get you. But you know what? Still look like I'm 22, so it's not a problem. But Happy New Year, fellas, ladies and gents.
too.
How we doing?
Not too terrible.
We're getting by.
Right side of the green. Anything else is getting greedy.
Touche. Rich, good to see you. Curry, I don't think we've met before, but nice to meet you. How you doing?
Nice to meet you too. I'm doing a bit better than I was when the New Year started. I had COVID over the holidays.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Do hope you feel a lot better though.
Thank you.
He's getting better. To
So
quote
we've got
Monty Python.
I feel better. Shut up.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned. It's funny you mentioned that, Dan, because speaking of getting better, I did my first revisions of my story, and then I sent it to so and so source to look at it again, and then they gave me more feedback. So now I got to go back and revise it again. But I'm getting there. The story is getting there. So there you go. That's progress, right, Dan? I'm moving in the right direction in 2023. All we can do now is go up from here.
Hey, at least you're still moving.
I am. This whole writing thing is going to be something cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs here in 2023, but I'm looking forward to it. Maybe it'll take me to the moon, Alice. To the moon and back. Who knows?
You know, we got Chattacon coming up weekend of 13th and 15th. So that's the big science fiction convention here now.
Is it now? Wow.
Well, it's we got a couple other up and comings that are actually pulling in more people. But
That's even sweeter.
yeah, well,
Yeah. Well, hey, you're moving in the right direction. I mean, we got the Multiverse fundraiser on January 20th through the 22nd online coming up here in a few weeks, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
John, those are not conventions; they're expos.
that exactly. That's
Wow, we're getting corrected backstage by a mysterious voice. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Hey, the man behind the curtain is paying the bills. We got to pay attention.
Allegedly.
You said that was the 20th through the 23rd?
What, the Multiverse fundraiser, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the January 20th through the 22nd. So it's Friday, Saturday,
Oh,
Sunday.
22nd.
It's a virtual convention being presented by Back at the Cereal Box. And we're going to have William Katz. We're going to have Victor Garber. We're going to have Amy Yazbek. We're going to have Guy Gilchrist.
Wow.
We're going to have, what is it, Armin, Shimmerman, I think it is?
Armin Shimmerman. Yes.
Yeah, he's going to be in the
Clark.
building. Who else? I'm trying to think. The guest list is like 3 miles long. It's ridiculous. Chris Gaucher is going to be with us. He played Toyman / Winslow Shot on Smallville, the greatest superhero TV series of all time. And anyone says otherwise is just fooling themselves.
I like that character.
Darn right. So, yeah, there's a lot of people coming to this thing. If you want, Rich, I'll post a link to it in the Stupid O'Clock Facebook group for everyone
Please.
to see, because that's going to be one of the biggest highlights of 2023. We're just getting started.
Which I actually just scribble it down on a post-it to stick on my second monitor, so I can keep that in mind. So
that's beautiful. I'm proud of you. See, at least one of us is taking notes on this show.
You know it's a big. You know it's a big thunderstorm when all the post-it notes fall off your monitor.
That is what was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's a fair point. That's what I meant. There you go, Rich. I put it in the Stupid O'Clock chat. Too.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, there's a giant flyer there with all the info on it. That's for everybody, by the way, not just Rich.
Well, let's see. What was
I know we got a lot of conventions this year. I'm excited. There's a lot of great shows coming our way.
We do. Quick question for you, Ryan, since you're here and you're big into movies and such.
I am. I've been into movies since I was about 4 years old.
You've seen this thing just recently where they've been canceling a bunch of movies, especially with the DC universe.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes,
Henry
that is
Cavill
sad.
apparently not in Superman. Don't know what's going on with Black Adam. What was the other one that got squashed?
I mean, well, Black Adam did come
Wonder
out,
Woman.
but there's no plans for a sequel because of the overhaul. That's what you're getting at.
And
Yeah.
it's
Wonder Woman 3 was taken down, but they do have plans for her. It's just not where they were going.
That got the boot. Batgirl was canceled. That happened.
that's another one.
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, that was a while back, though.
Now, what I heard was, or the excuse they're using, I'm not sure which, is they want to take it the directors
They
or
do.
people,
Yep.
new producers want to take it in a different direction,
Major overhaul. They're going to start completely from scratch.
which I'm curious as to why they think they need to start over because they were doing pretty darn good.
It was worth watching, so now they've got to ruin it. Naturally, they've got to go
Well-
back to different directors.
James Gunn has always had a different point of view than a good portion of the folks out there. Now that he is the co-president of the DC,
Peter Safran. Yeah.
it's probably going to have a very Guardians flavor as far as the attitudes and everything, but it's still going to be DC. But Gunn has to put his flavor on it, and divorce it from the Snyderverse, divorce it from the hullabaloo that came up with Joss Whedon and stuff like that, and try to distance from all of that to set out a foundation and a platform that they can grow and become as big of a giant as the MCU.
Yeah, it's and it's funny. Well, not funny, but it's interesting you bring that up, Rich, because my concern is that I am not a big James Gunn guy. Never really have been. Peter Safran, I don't know too much about him, but they want to do a complete overhaul, start completely from scratch, reboot everything, recast every single role, including Superman, for Pete's sake. Which, Henry, I know you're watching this. Henry got the short end of the straw in all this, in my opinion. Some of the other actors got the short end of the straw, in my opinion.
He's got a major role in the Warhammer stuff that's supposed to be coming out through Warner Brothers.
Henry's not going to be. What I'm trying to say is Henry's not going to be short on work. But what I'm saying is it angers me to a degree that Henry got the shortest end of the stick in all this mess. But
Well, what
with
pisses
this
me
being
off
an
is they
overhaul
told
and
him
there's-
to announce he was coming back, and
then 3 weeks later, screw
yeah,
you.
they're like, forget it. You're
Yeah.
not coming back anytime soon. So it ticks me off. But you know what? It's an overhaul. It's a refresh. It's a reboot. And if you're going to do it, you best do it when you can and distance yourself from all the other stuff that's come before, because none of it was really connected to begin with. There was a lot of behind the scenes issues. There were creative differences that were held. Certain actors didn't get along with other actors. So it's best to just start over from scratch. And I get that. But my question is, Peter, James, you don't watch this show, but one day you will. Just don't make it jokey, okay? Don't make every single DC movie a joke like they're doing over at Marvel. Because if you do everything with salt and no pepper, which is salt means comedy, pepper means drama. If you don't give me an equal combination of salt and pepper in my recipe, I'm going to be ticked off. But if you give me a good balance, I will buy what you're selling. So
Hire some of the writers from
yeah.
the animated Justice League series, because those were good.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I wouldn't mind if they
Those
did that
were
at all.
good
That's fine with me.
scripts.
Doesn't bother me at all. But I'm just saying, if you're going in this
I
new
mean,
direction, I wish you the best of luck. We won't know until the first film comes out, and then we can get a taste of what Peter and James are aiming for. But just do the best you can, guys. But just do it wisely, because
It has to have that balance. Now, Flash, you can get a little bit more jokey because
yeah, you
the
can.
Flash comics and,
Yes.
and the entire Flash universe
Yep.
portion of DC is supposed to be the more lighthearted, the more heartfelt. You know, that's supposed to hit you more in the feels and stuff like that. But if you're going into the Batman family, couple jokes here and there, but it should be the darker, the grittier. Now, granted, you have your humor with Dick, you've got your humor with Jason, you know, Tim, Damian, the whole 9 yards. Especially if you have Damian and Tim. I love the back and forth about, you know, Damian always wanting to murder Tim. But you know, it's you know, you have to do it just right, and you can't ignore the comics. Now, you know, my wife, myself, we're really pissed off about in Man of Steel from Snyder about Soups's decision. Now, granted, I believe at some point in the time in the comics he really does end up going there, but that's not your first outing.
Mm-hmm.
You set him up as the Blue Boy Scout, and then 16 movies down the line, that's when you bring that piece out. Or 6 seasons of a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true too.
And somewhere in there, they need to do Alex Ross's
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom
Come. Thank you.
That's my favorite graphic novel of all time. I would love to see that adapted at some point.
It would have to be done straight.
It would, but it would also be very difficult because how many characters are in that book? Like 40, 50 characters. That's a lot to balance. But then again, it's not impossible because if you can do it in an animated movie like they've been doing the last 30 years, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's possible. If they want to do Kingdom Come as an animated film, which probably might be the smarter route, I'm okay with that.
Actually, it wouldn't even be able to be an animated film.
The last
It'd have
two
to be a
Avengers
miniseries.
movies, especially the very last one, Endgame, proved that you could do Kingdom Come.
Yeah, you can. No, you're right, Rich. If
you just have to have the guts to commit to it and do it straight.
I agree with you. Rich brought up something that if you were to do Kingdom Come, you said you wanted it as a miniseries there, Rich, not just like
it would,
one or
it
two
would need to
movies.
be a miniseries because with all the story that's in there,
that is a lot.
You can't really trim too much fat in that.
And there's a lot of mythology too.
No, you could not do that as a single movie. That would have to be five or six.
That's going to be stretched. That's got to be stretched.
That would be minimum 4.
It would be a bunch of
Come.
connected movies.
You know, Kingdom Come was one of the first graphic novels I ever read, and it blew my mind to the point where I said, you know what? If this is what comics can do and the kind of stories they can tell, I want more of this. I do, sincerely.
Now, they're supposed to be doing a lot of Elseworld stuff.
They've done it before with Gotham by Gaslight.
So I would really like to see Speeding Bullet. That's one of my favorite Elseworlds of all time, where Clark ends up crashing into the Wayne's backyard. And it's Clark that's brought up and then loses the Kents and becomes Batman. And then in that one, Lex Luthor ends up being turned into the Joker, and it's a beautiful arc on that. And then
I haven't read this one. I got to read this.
I don't remember. It came out in 91-ish, 91-ish, somewhere in that time frame.
Now, I've got to admit, I'm not a big comics guy.
Okay,
but
Dan,
there are things that I really, really love. And
Kingdom
some of
Come
them
is
have been
certainly one of them.
adapted to animation. and some of them have not been adapted in any way, shape, or form. They're still basically the graphic novels, which are a powerhouse right there, waiting to be tapped. But if they're not done correctly, there's going to be a huge amount of backlash from the people that actually bought a ticket.
Well, they did kind of mess up on what is it, Batman: The Killing Joke animated film. Oof, that prologue. Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible. That was trash.
Another one that I would like to see. I can't remember the title. I want to say it's something like In Darkest Night or something like that.
In Blackest Night.
No, it's an Elseworlds where Batman or where Bruce is the one that's closest and gets the ring instead of Hal.
Oh,
And then the Green Lanterns have to give rings to Wonder Woman and Superman to try to bring him down.
Ooh.
Because think about it.
Be down.
A weapon that is based off of intellect, wit, and willpower in the hands of the Dark Knight.
And this is why the major Green Lantern villain turned around and said, "Not today, sweetheart. I'll be back later." Sinestro would not stand a chance against Batman.
I was gonna say, I can tell these comic book history lessons are giving Curry so much smiles because I see her yawning like crazy back there. Are these comic book history lessons boring you? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Not really.
Guess what, guys?
What?
There was a poll on YouTube.
Yeah.
And over 80% said I had to do this.
This is exactly why I don't have you on Last Man Standing, Joe.
Why?
Because it's going to be Rick roll after Rick roll after Rick roll.
So Curry, do you read comics? Are you a big fan of comics, Curry? Do you like comics?
I used to read comics on occasion. I'm mostly into manga.
That's fair. Nothing wrong with that. What's your favorite manga?
Right now my favorite is currently Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah, okay. I think I've heard of that one. Come across because I watch a lot of live streams for Facebook Live sales, and some of them are they sell manga during their sales. So maybe I may have heard that title once or twice as I'm streaming across. So that's interesting. I read a little bit of manga last year just to get a bit of a jump into the kiddie pool side of things. I read a little bit of DBZ. I read a little bit of Rurouni Kenshin, Full Metal Alchemist. You know what that is?
Yeah.
So those titles are pretty cool. I enjoyed those. So far, anyway. Granted, I only take a few steps into the pool. I didn't jump into the deep end of the pool when it comes to manga, but yeah, interesting.
Well, you did pick a good bunch of titles to get started with for sure.
Thanks. It also helps that my local comic shop has all the manga titles in a used section for 50% off. So I get to save mad money. Yeah. Sorry, Dan. Didn't mean to take over this whole show of yours, or Joe Dog's. Excuse me. I didn't mean to take over your show.
This one's Joe Dog's. Mine's in about.
Yeah, yours is less than 45 minutes from now. Sorry, no offense.
45 minutes, yeah.
But sorry, Joe Dog. Once you get me yapping, I tend to not want to stop. So.
Here we come to the problem where I drew away from comics a long time ago. It wasn't because I didn't enjoy it.
Right.
It wasn't because it was still fun. It wasn't because there were bad stories coming along. It was because I was in a bad situation.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And I had a collection of some 4,000 or 5,000 individual issues of comics. And I came home one day and they were gone.
No.
Yes. Including all 3 issues that featured the Russian superhero. Was it Starfire? Firestar? Starfire, I do believe. The dude that got his powers from the alien spaceship that caused the Tunguska explosion. He'd only appeared 3 times, and one of those was in an index. But he'd been in 2 different comic books. Other than that, I had all 3. I had everything for that. I had original from the 1960s Blackhawks that my dad had bought me. And that wasn't all that got missing. My childhood collection of Tom Swift Jr.'s 3 Investigators series, Alfred Hitchcock series, and lots of other stuff. I just came home one day and they were all gone. And I know how they got gone and who got them gone. And there was nothing I could do. So the joy went out of it for me.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
It's like having a limb amputated.
Yeah.
Something you have been used to all your life that you could go and use every day, all day long, and it vanishes without explanation.
Goodness gracious. Sorry to hear that, brother.
That's okay. I divorced her.
Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, at least that was solved.
Yeah.
And what was it, Rich? You said it was, in Darkest Night. Okay. Got it. I see it in the chat here, in the live chat. By the way, Donna, Donna, Carly, Carlene, Carl, good to see you all. Good to see you. Hope you had a good New Year's celebration, whatever it was. And yes, Carl, you are going to be a part of the Multiverse fundraiser, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to be on one of our, I think you're on the Indie Authors panel, if I'm not mistaken. So giddy up there, Carl. It'll be good to see you at the Multiverse fundraiser, January 20th through the 22nd.
They're some of the most outstanding indie authors I know, and well, let's not
true.
Not forget the other folks that show up on Michaela Jade's show, Michaela and Keisha. And
oh yes, I got to go back and watch that Tidbits and Scribbles show that Michaela does.
Please do. I think the next one's going to be on the 10th.
Oh, the 10th. Okay.
Next week, yeah.
Oh, next weekend.
Next Tuesday.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, technically this Tuesday because it's the closest one, but whatever.
So that would be the 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yep.
Yay! 5 days from now. Woohoo!
She's decided to do it once a week instead of every other week, and she has put her foot down to her employer and said, Tuesday nights are mine. Dude goes, yes, ma'am. Do you know anybody that wants to cross Michaela? I don't.
Yeah. I have to tune into that show, see if catch one of the live ones.
It's a lot of fun.
They're fun to watch.
There, but
yeah, maybe we can get some cool advice for me as a new writer. So who knows? Anything's possible.
Yeah, me
well, the
tuning
best
into
advice always is sit in the chair, put your fingers on the keyboard, do the work. Don't be afraid of getting edited. It's going to improve things.
Yeah,
button share, fingers on keys.
Mm-hmm. That's the best advice I've ever gotten.
Except usually, most people substitute ass for butt, but I got embroiled in this entire thing by watching a episode of Tidbits and Scribbles. So it actually all started from Nevermind the Furthermore after Nick took over. Carl invited me over to watch Tidbits and Scribbles because Nick complains about me not finishing a couple of my stories. In fact, a couple of them will cause him to have a epileptic fit. Watching that, I recognized Dan's name from Apelian from working on writers' challenges from years and years and years ago that I used one of his writers' challenges that have just a ton of narrative hooks as fodder for when I can't think of anything on my own. I'm like, all right, let's go with this line and let's just run, and just put out 200 words, 300 words, just something surrounding one of those hooks.
Wow. I was
Yeah,
not aware of that. You know, it's funny the way the Nevermind the Furthermore community has that effect on people. You know, once you start tuning in, you get to know everybody. You're like, yeah, I want to be a part of this crazy wacko crowd. So
of
Brian K. Morris,
course,
if you're
yeah.
watching this, which I know you are, I blame you for all my problems, and I blame you for all these connections that I've made in the last 3 years. You sick man who wears a fez every single day of his life. Um, but it's fun nonetheless because that's good stuff, Rich. I didn't know that about you, but it's cool. You know, we're all friends here. We're all giving each other advice. So hey. And by the way, Carl, to answer your statement there, he says we're also going to talk about a GoFundMe for one of our writers who's having a tough time. I'm aware of that situation. I'm going to be playing Amy Hale's ad on my show this weekend, and I'll be playing it again, to promote her books and her website so people can check her out because Amy Hale is a very gifted person. She's a great writer, and we're going to try to help her as best we can as a community. So there you go. I'll be running her ad all weekend.
She's a very kind person. I would
She
like
is.
to do everything I can for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's awesome.
Yeah, I've read a few of her books. She's a great writer. Love her stuff.
Well, you go on any Rising Tide thing, there's a bunch of folks that are great writers.
Yes, as I have learned in the last 3 years of my life.
I mean, seriously, Carl and Donna blow me away. Michaela got me interested in a genre that is not part of my wheelhouse.
Oh,
Keisha is frightening.
she is. Why she
She
always
could really give Stephen King a run for his money if she sat down and really put her mind to it and said, "Okay, time to get serious."
Yeah, she was actually on a call with us earlier tonight. This was behind closed doors. This wasn't for the viewing public, but she was on her way home from an event that she was attending with her family, and she was in her car, and I'm like, every time you call us, you're always in the flipping dark. You know, it's like she loves the dark more than anything else. It's like, listen, is Stephen King or what's his face? Who created what was it, Evil Dead? Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi watching this? Because I feel like Keisha Acuff could make an appearance in a future Evil Dead movie. Maybe. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, Keisha, because we love you.
As the most unkillable villain ever. Yeah, well, but she'd turn out to be the one that was there to help.
True.
But she's so scary. Ash goes, "Damn, I can't even get the chainsaw to work on this woman."
Mm.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah, Carl says if Keisha doesn't scare you, nothing will. That is, yeah.
And that's just a biography. Wait till she starts writing fiction.
Mm.
I mean, seriously.
Mm.
Him was one of those things that, if that didn't send shivers up and down your spine, I'm sorry.
I haven't read that one yet. Is it
nerve
really
damage.
that creepy?
It can be. It just depends on how you approach it. Now, if you immerse yourself in the story, yes, it's really creepy.
Okay.
If you come at it going, "Oh, this is Keisha," it's really creepy, but in a different direction.
It's on my Amazon wish list, though.
Hey, go ahead and get it. It's well worth your while. I highly recommend to all the folks that you find me hanging out with.
Yeah.
Because I tend to be attracted to very, very talented people, the very, very driven people that get things done.
And me.
And Rich. Yeah.
Well, you make great starts. I mean,
you gotta pull a what was the guy's name that mentioned this years ago? What was his name? Oh, Glengarry Glen Ross. Always be closing. ABC. Always.
ABW. Always be writing.
Or always be writing in your case, Rich. AIDA. Attention, interest, decision, action. Does anyone remember?
Actually, ABC still works because always be creating.
Ooh, good point.
Well, there's one ABW that we really need to abandon.
Really?
Always be worrying. If you're going to be a writer, you've got to stop worrying about stuff and just get it done and just
I would
do
say
it.
always be writing.
Well, like I said, one that needs to be abandoned. Worrying is something that needs to be abandoned.
No,
Just
you're
do
right.
it. Just cut yourself loose. Just
Mhm.
do it. It'll
In the
be
words
all
of
right.
Nike and Shia LaBeouf, just do it. You know. Sorry, I had to bring it up. It's Throwback Thursday.
Oh, oh, Joe,
What
Joe,
was
Joe.
what did Joe just say to me? What did he say? He said ABW, alcohol by weight instead of ABV. What the heck is that?
Right now it's up to about 140 pounds, and I'm only 195. So,
Really? I never would have guessed. Hmm. Sorry
well,
about that.
my wife is a really good cook.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I
Fair
mean,
enough.
seriously, my lunch today at work
Was it that
was
good?
it was a curry,
Was it?
and it
Hmm.
was leftover turkey from Christmas, well, Boxing Day,
Well,
and she had me get white grapes
mm-hmm.
and um, coconut milk at the store, and we had some celery left over. And one of the Christmas presents we got was some fresh apples and pears.
Really? Wow.
And Lindsay said, "You know, I'm going to save one of these apples or one of these pears and do like fried apples with pears added. Like my mom used to do fried apples as a breakfast, but I'm going to dice up the rest of them and put them in this curry." And she says, "Do you think that'll work?" And I go, "Well, I've had it with apricots before. And if you don't know what curry is, it is okay. If people in India had never heard of pinto beans
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted five-alarm chili, they invented curry. So it's rice with some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's green, and it's, let me just say, I was very, very cautious around any open flames after I had lunch because I might spontaneously combust.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
good Lord, it's a perfect blend of sweet and spicy, and with the turkey meaty and the rice, everything was done absolutely wonderful. Um, and you get all these combinations of tastes in every bite. Um, there were carrots and celery and um, sliced apples and sliced pears and grapes and turkey and the curry sauce and the coconut milk to make everything blend together. And I'm going, if my sister still had that restaurant, you'd probably be able to get a job real quick. Just give her a bite of this. That'd be your audition.
Hmm.
Um, British people love curries.
Hmm.
I can see why. They are addictive. I mean, this is the crack of foreign food. You get a taste of some of this stuff, you go, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Half an hour, you want more. Um, Seriously. And I got more tomorrow, and tomorrow's Friday. So I will probably be fired up in more ways than one in the green room.
As Carl just eloquently reminded us here in the chat, not the green room, not the green room, not yet. Interesting
You
stuff.
have been warned, Carl.
Yeah,
Block me if you dare.
yeah. He's probably he's sitting there somewhere in his studio.
He's petting a cat and hollering back and forth at Donna.
Well, wow, okay. No, that's probably the case. If you don't mind me asking, though, since this is my first time interacting with our panelists here, Curry, if you don't mind me asking, what is one of your favorite movies and why?
Oh man, one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Could be anything.
it's hard for me to say I don't watch very many movies. I do like Kindergarten Cop. It was one of those movies I grew up with.
It's
It's
not
not a
It's
tumor.
not a
It's not a
tumor.
tumor.
We're gonna play a wonderful game called Who is Your Daddy and What Does He Do? Good.
Who's
pick,
your
Curry.
daddy? Oh, wait. Sorry.
Well,
that's-
and
that's-
perfect moment for John to come in.
Yeah, John just walked in, or at least he attempted to. He's frozen again, by the way, John. But Curry, that is a good pick. I remember growing up watching that a number of times as a youngling when I was a youngling back in the '90s. Those were some good times.
Hmm.
Yeah, good pick though. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, with the blast shield down, how can you see how to swing the lightsaber?
Oh, gee willikers. Any
Jesus,
favorite-
I stopped Ryan from talking. That takes talent right there.
I know it's not an easy thing to do. Curry, any favorite TV shows, past or present, that you enjoy? Anything at all stand out to you?
I do watch a bit of anime
Okay.
most
fair
of the
enough.
time, and
All right.
as for American,
Anything?
I'd say Home Improvement, Roseanne, and Seinfeld for American TV.
It's my favorite sitcom is Seinfeld. It's a good pick. I'm impressed. I mean, it is about nothing, but
Hmm.
it's
Well, it
great.
was meant to be. Yeah.
It was meant to be. I can sum up the, because when they're doing the pitch in the meta version of the episode, he's like, I can sum up the show for you for one word: nothing. 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 What does that mean? It's about nothing. For instance, what did you do today? I got up and came to work. There's a show. That's a show. Well, how was that show? It's just, and then you just go into it. Curry, those are some very wise choices. So in the words of my friendly neighborhood Grail Knight from the indie film known as The Last Crusade, you have chosen wise. Nice work, Curry. Nice
Thanks.
work. Yeah, I can get with this. Just saying. Oh boy.
Oh dear.
Man, every time I come on the show, I feel like I'm almost meeting a new person every other time I show up here, Dan. I'm
Well,
loving it.
meeting new
totally.
people is something that you should do every
No, it's
time.
great. I'm not dogging you for it. I'm just saying it's like every time
Oh
I
no,
walk in
no,
here.
no. I'm just saying, hey, that's one of the benefits of being here. You
Good
get to
point.
meet folks, and if you don't, we'll drag somebody in off the street.
These are the people in your channel hood.
There goes the song. There goes the song that plays. Curry, where are you calling us from? Where's your studio? Where are you at in the world today? Where are you?
I'm in Tennessee, pretty much
Tennessee.
the same area as Joe Dog.
Oh,
He is about 23 miles north of me.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
there you go. Interesting. That's cool, Curry. I'm only a few states away in Maryland. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
nice.
at one time, Ryan, we did drag people off the streets.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm learning new
I mean,
things
people
about
would
this
just
program
pop
every day.
over like, "Hey, who are you? Where are you from?"
Then how did you get roped into this thing?
I don't.
Pretty much how I got roped into stupid o'clock. I did get, instead of being dragged in from the streets, I get dragged in from a con.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Kicking and screaming.
Hmm.
I was about to get Dazzler's autograph. Leave me alone.
Kiri, are you going to be downtown this weekend?
For Chattacon?
Yeah.
I want to. I may try to. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm actually going to stay on site this time.
Oh, cool.
Hope everyone has a wonderful time at that event this weekend.
Well, I hope it goes better than last year. Yeah, that's where I caught COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear you.
Oh.
I am so sorry to hear that, Joe. But we're glad that you're still with us and that you seem to be doing well. So that's fantastic.
I've still got the cough and some
you do?
lip damage.
Ooh, I'm sorry, Joe Dog.
Oh yeah, that's why I just have the what is that?
What was it called
Yeah.
again?
The Margaritaville tequila just sitting here,
Thank you. I was wondering what that was. I just couldn't see it before, but now I see it.
and I can't drink it.
We're coming down to Margarita. I got the song in my head now.
All I'm going to say is everybody at home watching,
Mm-hmm.
stay through the closing credits.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, these people that skip out before the closing credits are completely over miss something.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new one tonight. Rich, wake up.
I'm here.
Fun. He's still here in the studio.
He's taking notes.
He's writing something down on his giant legal pad.
He's gonna-
Actually, I'm sketching something on a post-it note.
Oh, it's a post-it note. Sorry, because I do have post-it notes over here on the right-hand side of my studio.
Are you that bored, Rich? You've gone to doodling on post-it notes?
I'm that ADHD that if something pops in my head, I have to take care of it real quick, or it'll just nag the hell out of me.
Well, at least you wrote down the information regarding Multiverse Fundraiser, because you're going to like the way you look after participating, or should I say, viewing that virtual convention from the comfort of your own home. We guarantee it.
Yeah, but it won't be as good as the HallowCon.
Zinger! I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Our virtual HallowCon, Ryan, we ran nonstop for 49 hours.
That's a long time.
Yep.
And that's when you bent StreamYard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. When is HallowCon this year for you guys? Do you know yet? Do you have your dates?
Before 27th through the 29th.
Oh, of October?
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations. Hope it's a wonderful show later this year.
Who is that? Somebody just dropped in. Oh,
we mentioned. Well, Joe Bachman decided to finally show up after 6 hours of saying he wanted to.
wait a minute. It's Saint Joe Bachman. Look at his halo.
Oh, the halo's just a ploy, trust me. Rich can attest to that.
How's it going? How you been, Joe? How you making out, man? How you been?
Doing good. How
Good.
about
Happy
you,
New
Ryan?
Year, by the way, Joe.
Yes, Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you, kind sir. Hope everything goes well for you this year of 2023.
It's going to be busy.
Going to be busy.
Yes.
All right. It'll keep you on your toes, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan, 27th through the 29th.
27th to 29th. All right, got it. Hope it's a
hey,
wonderful show
Michaela.
for everyone involved.
Oh, Michaela snuck in. Hey, Michaela.
Is she here? Oh, hey, Michaela. Good to see you. Hope everything's well in your neck of the woods. Happy New Year, Michaela Jade. Good to see you. I know, that's how I feel too. It's almost time for the down show. Sorry, I'm just coming up with random lyrics in my mind. Cause it's Thursday. I ain't got no job and I ain't got nothing to do. So
Michaela is on Facebook. Tuning in on
Michaela.
Facebook, Carl.
Good to see you, Michaela. Happy New Year. And yes, Donna, she is on Facebook, just to be clear. It's too bad Michaela J couldn't pop into this studio.
Hey,
It's all right.
Michaela Jade can pop in anywhere she wants.
That's true.
And so can everybody else we know because
They
they're
have links
good
to
people.
the StreamYard.
Hey, Chris.
The links are somewhere. You're
And
somewhere,
hello,
Facebook Messenger.
Mr. Bachman. I'm finally
Hello, Em.
working on a script for something to record for you for your project.
Thank you.
Way to go, man.
It'll take me a while because I got to figure out whether or not I want to record it with StreamYard or just fire up the camera and use bugger if I know what program I've got on this computer that'll do audio and video besides StreamYard, but I'll figure something out. I'm good at improvising. Carl, release the Kraken.
Oh no.
He's still here. He's in the chat somewhere. So is Donna. Donna's still here. Hi, Donna.
Oh, That dark and stormy was really good, but that is some very, very stout ginger ale. I wish I could remember the name brand so I could recommend it to everybody and get them hooked on it because that stuff is. If you think Canada Dry is good ginger ale, you ain't got no idea. That's like saying, you know, Johnny Walker is some good bourbon, but I've heard of this thing called Wild Turkey. You ain't got no idea.
Oh. Uh, bought a green screen, as you can see, and grossly
All right.
misjudged the size.
Oh, it's a little one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That's all
Saint
right.
Joe now.
And when I was in my
Memphis
little,
and St. Joe.
I was in my own little studio earlier, and well, yeah.
I highly recommend.
Got to make sure
over-
you have a highly contrasting shirt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I highly recommend going over to the Walmart and getting some of these Kelly Green sheets. There are um, 2 by they're about 4 yards each, but I've got like 3 curtains behind me, and when it's turned off and I'm not using green screen, I've got them on curtain rods. I just slide them back.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I'm kind
And
of
they're
in the
cheap.
corner of my basement, so trying to hang up anything or do anything right behind me is a little difficult. But
Well,
my other background looked kind of cool.
Good Lord, Joe.
yeah,
What are you
I
fucking
had that.
kidding
I
me?
had that one for a while, but I could not ever get around the flicker problem because my lighting wasn't perfect.
Yeah, my lighting is a little off. I'm gonna have to get a light for in front of me or to kind of.
Yeah, well, a light on the green screen itself,
Yeah.
and then another one for you because I've got this gooseneck lamp here, and it's got a blue filter on it, so I'm actually the right color instead of bright red or completely washed out white.
Message me on Facebook later, Joe. I will find the couple of lights I found on Amazon and shoot them your way to see if you'd be interested in those.
Okay.
Because I've been looking at this stuff for a couple of months, well, more than a few months, trying to plot everything out, get everything ready to do, life lessons with Crazy Uncle Dick. So,
And Chris Walker, yes, Statesman is better bourbon, but for the purposes of the joke, I had to roll with the punch drunk. So, oh man, I would love another dark and stormy, but no, that is some stout ginger ale. I mean, doesn't matter if you put liquor in it or not. It would kind of mess with my stomach a little bit. I've got to work full day tomorrow, so that ain't gonna happen. But I've
Just
got to go to sleep right after Last Man Standing. So bourbon or cracking it is.
I
So
was gonna say you got a big day tomorrow. Might as well get as much sleep as we can. To answer Donna's question. To answer Donna's question, though, I was actually referring to Amy Hale earlier. As far as I haven't read any of your stuff, Donna, so I can't say one way or the other. But I have read Amy Hale's work. She's fantastic. That's who I was referring to earlier. Sorry if I confused you. I apologize. But Amy Hale's a great writer. Check her out on Amazon. La-di-da-di-da. We'll talk more about that this weekend on our shows. I'm actually going to bounce, but it was great to see each and every single one of you. Happy New Year. Hope 2023 is a banner year for this stupid o'clock family, which is a weird way to say this stuff, but whatever. That's the name of the show, so I'm just going with what the producers told me in the backstage area that doesn't exist. But this was fun. You're all great. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Phenomena, guys.
take a night, brother.
Have a good night, bro.
take care.
See you guys.
I think I need a decompression chamber. Too much carbon dioxide been pumped into my blood without reason. In any case,
Oh. Man, wait a minute. Sorry, too early.
only by about 5 minutes. I mean, seriously, John can't be here to do everything.
Oh, Dan, I told everybody that they need to stay after the credits because I've got a new little zinger I'm going to throw in. You know how I throw the zingers in after the credits?
That's what I'm afraid of.
Uh-oh.
Why do I have a feeling I know what the zinger is?
Same reason I do, because I ran my stupid mouth and gave him an idea.
I guarantee you do not know this one. This is a new one. It's footage I've used before, but there's a new sound effect.
Huh. And how many times have we heard this one before?
Never.
Right.
I didn't do that. Did you?
I think John did that.
Oh, John's not here. John's not here, man.
Have to blame somebody. Seriously. There are too many tempting tidbits in your directories on StreamYard there, Joe Dog. I could just sit there and play stuff all day.
More! No, not so loud. They may hear you. More!
Have you ever heard the Cthulhu Mythos version of the Muppet Show theme?
No.
It's rather disturbing. You would think that Keisha wrote it, but she hadn't been born yet when it first came out, so that ain't that ain't possible. I almost said.
Well, Dan, stupid. YouTube just told me your show starts in 30 minutes.
I think they underestimated this discombobulation there. Looks like 13 minutes. Well, 12 minutes to me. Well, let me pop over here. I'm still listening.
I've got a video I wish I could show. It's
I'm sure you do. What's her name?
It's John Lennon singing "Let It Be."
I am not touching that. Really? I mean, I thought Roman
really
Polanski was the original 5-foot pole you wouldn't want to touch anybody with, but no.
But
trust me, it's not that great, but it's John Lennon singing "Let It Be."
Okay.
It's pulled from the Peter Jackson tapes. Somebody went in and pulled all the background noise out and put the music in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he was making fun of the song or John just can't sing, but it was horrible. It's horrible.
Well, John never liked the sound of his own voice in recordings. He was always looking for a way to put some kind of studio trick in there to augment his sound. And he was quite famous for finding stuff that is now commonplace in the music industry. That the guy behind the mixing board for the Beatles, and forgive me because I can't remember his name right now, but he's pretty much without him they wouldn't have sounded the way they sounded because he would work magic with the recording studio.
Pete. I was going to say the Colonel, but no, that's Elvis.
That yeah, and it's not Alan Parsons. It's going back a generation. So invented a
I know
lot of stuff.
the name's right on the tip of my tongue. Damn it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not George R. Martin, but
George Martin.
yep, I do believe that is correct. Rich, when are you going to learn? If I say something like that, don't look it up because it will embed itself permanently in your psyche and you will be bent and twisted. Hold on. How is that a bad thing?
Getting twisted? I already am.
Worse. I mean, there's auto body shops that can't straighten that shit out. But oh Lord. Muppet cover. Yeah. Carl, do you remember that Alice Cooper was a musical guest on the Muppet Show? When you've heard the Muppets sing with Alice Cooper, School's Out, you get a little bit different perspective on the world. Or a particular world, whether you're actually on that timeline or not. 4 to 5 would visit again. Not my reality, but got good popcorn.
Rich, are you that embarrassed? I've seen your browser history, Rich. Why did you hide that?
If you, the Secret Humor Group, or Dan suggests something, I look at it through incognito mode first to find out if it's safe to put in my regular browser history.
No balls.
Me?
All right, you broke out the Riddler laugh in me. So
Hey, Carl got mad at me. Carl got mad at me. They welcomed somebody new to the group today. And I said, yeah, just be careful and watch the links you get click because there's some asshole in here that it will either rickroll you or jump scare. And he got mad.
experience. Fair warning. Seriously.
I think my paintball has been one of my best ones so far.
I
Next
got my
week
hands
we
away.
have-
I got my hands away from the controls. Anything that happens is not me. So
Next week, we have Joe drink a bottle of magnesium citrate and see how long he can stay.
Oh,
No,
Lord.
I'll never do that again. Hey.
oh,
Rich, I'll tell you, I actually had to drink a bottle of that stuff because I love cheese. And I downed the bottle. It tasted like a salty Sprite. I'm sitting here on the computer, and all of a sudden it goes. I'm like, whoa.
The warning shot.
And like, okay, that was
that
weird.
was the first alarm.
a few minutes later, I like, oh hell, that's not good. Donna came in. She goes, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Move."
This was your final warning.
I like
Oh.
cheese too, and unfortunately, I don't need a bottle of magnesium citrate after I consume cheese. I apparently, within the past few years, have become
You poor thing.
Oh no, I still consume. I just make sure that I'm within 20 minutes of the toilet.
20 minutes?
Meaning I don't eat it out. I
You're cutting it really close.
It's not the green room. It's not the green room. It's not the green room. I only eat cheese, large amounts of cheese at home.
I got one of those mini maker grilled cheese makers at Walmart the other day. They had them marked down to $10 a piece.
And now we know why.
Oh. Excuse me.
Oh.
I had a little delay there.
That's the problem. A little delay is not enough. You need time to leave the chair and run down the hallway. Taco Bell is addictive.
Okay.
Let that be a lesson to you, children.
Rich, needless to say, I was doing that side scoop, shuffle, and clinch. Only thing going through my mind is pray to God she didn't put the seat down. Or pray to God she didn't put the lid down. Pray to God she didn't put the lid down.
Pray to God she ain't in there.
I've had those days. I'm like, thank God I'm wearing long pants today, because this way, if I don't make it, at least there's a little bit of time before the cleanup crews have to arrive.
Oh yeah. All right, guys, it is time to say
good night, everybody.
Adios. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Hasta luego.
I have slit the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.